Everybody, this is John, and I want to show you real quick a couple of things on the tool that I cannot live without, which is our scanner. And this is something that we've been creating steadily over the years, and it continues to improve. And this was created out of the idea, first of all, of for people that have, say, accounts at like Schwab or Fidelity and E-Trade, and they just don't have all of the features that, like, say, a TradeStation or Thinkorswim has. This was a way where they could find the same setups that we're using without having to switch platforms. So that was kind of the first initial rendition of this, and then from there it just became, wow, this is actually a pretty powerful tool. How could I use this to save time in my own trading? So one of the things that actually used to take me hours and hours and hours a month was researching stocks that hit a certain criteria. One was that they had high short interest. All right. Short interest is, just so you know, that's when, say, if there's 1 million shares short, and then 500,000 of those are held, or sorry, 1 million shares outstanding, and then 500,000 of those are being held short, like by hedge funds. That means that stock has a 50% short interest, meaning that there's a lot of people betting on its demise. However, if you have high short interest and you're within 10% of new 52-week highs, okay, then all of a sudden these shorts have the potential of getting squeezed. If you add on top of that, there's a squeeze setting up, then the odds of an explosive move higher are very, very high. Examples of that is Herbalife, and we've seen a lot of stocks that do that. So what I do on here is I'll go to the daily scans and just say, okay, let's find daily pop candidates. So these are candidates that meet that criteria, and they're found automatically. Before, this list of stocks would take me hours and hours to put together. So you'll notice here that the 52% range, we have to be within 90% of new 52-week highs. Short percent interest, all right? And so what I like to do is I'll sort by the short interest and say, all right, Wing has 23% short interest and is within 95% of a new all-time high, or a new 52-week high, all right? That kind of stuff is fantastic. Very, very hard to find these on your own. Let's look at Abercrombie & Fitch. That's one that we were playing earlier this year. So this one popped up on our radar back here in January, but also again in March. Okay, and you can see we had a squeeze here and a little popped up, and another squeeze here, but then the stock went from $20 to $28, okay, in about 5 weeks. That is a huge move on a stock, and that's something where you could buy those, say, $21 call options for 25 cents and then sell them 4 weeks later for $9 or $8. So that's the kind of stuff, that's where my biggest moves come from. And typically there's going to be kind of what I call under the radar names that you might not really be familiar with, because otherwise there's not really a reason to go in there. And what I also like here is that you can dig in and say, okay, well, I got it. Those were the daily pop candidates, but what's the daily pop squeeze? Well, those are these same stocks that are in a squeeze. So it's a much shorter list. And so when A&F, Abercrombie & Fitch popped up on this, that's when I got it. So there's a ton of different other scans on here too that I love. I love the daily bullish nested squeezes. That's just these are the stocks that are in the best looking uptrends that are ready to pop, and also the same thing with bearish nested squeezes. These are the stocks that are in downtrends that are ready to implode. And there's so many other ones, but I can't live without this tool. We're continuing to add new things to it. We recently added the daily RAF sell and the daily RAF buy, which has been a phenomenal tool as well. So this tool for me, not only does it find and highlight opportunities to make money, but it saves me hours and hours of time. It's one of the one tools that I would never give up for my own trading. Okay, so great stuff. If you haven't tried it, I encourage you to check it out, and then just be sure to use it. It's a valuable gold mine of information. And just run a couple of scans, even once a day or even once a week on the weekends, and you're going to have your hit list for the rest of the week. That's going to give you an advantage over everyone else. So you guys have great trading, and see you at the next trade.